Howdy, folks. Today we're looking at Deep Cuts number 4 from 2023 in Image Comics. The pages of the calendar flip past in a blur as we move to the late 50s in New York City. Jazz has transformed yet again, bolstered by the boom of the post-war years and congealed into an established industry. The title of this issue is Blue Notes, and that should give you an idea of where we're situated. For the old heads in the crowd, it's the switch over from bebop to hard bop. Over the first half-century of its life, the music proved itself a slippery beast, constantly transforming like the proverbial old man of the sea. The mid-50s aesthetic of Blue Note Records, cool, erudite, slightly detached, reflected the self-perception of the music's fan base. Urban sophisticates who fancied themselves cool, erudite, and slightly detached. In hindsight, of course, that's when an art form starts to die, slowly but surely, when it stops belonging to people living their lives and becomes the province of the collector. That's a familiar story to comic book fans, and the shift is depicted right here on panel. Jazz wasn't for getting wild at parties, not anymore. It was for listening. But even given the patina of intellectual achievement the genre had attracted, the life of the men who made the music was often fraught, occasionally dangerous, and sometimes tragic. Today's specimen introduces us to the figure of Dorian Emmaus, a trumpeter renowned for both his talent and his flakiness. He falls on hard times and dies young, leaving a scant legacy of recorded music. The clear referent is Bird himself, Charlie Parker, though Emmaus is a trumpeter, not a saxophonist. The story avoids the direct one-to-one comparison. Eventually, Emmaus's demons lead to both hard time and an early death of a terrible disease, like John Coltrane a decade later. He's sent up the river by a newly passed mandatory minimum law, spends almost the entire remainder of his short life behind bars before getting out to record the record that would become his posthumous signature. The story is told indirectly, a figure outlined primarily through the words of others, contributing a character study of a definite artistic type. Neurotic, depressed, positively tormented, and yet given the ability to set the future spinning on its axis just by playing a horn. The art for this installment is brought to us by Ramón Pérez, an old pro across the mainstream who seems to appreciate the opportunity to cut loose with something more historic and more human. Igor Monti's color work gives a precise evocation of the Blue Note palette, dark and vivid like the music itself. The book shifts gears for a handful of musical sequences used to illustrate Emmaus's synesthesia, what we later discover to be a symptom of a succinctly fatal condition. Depicting music on the pages without exaggeration, one of the great extant artistic challenges of the medium, and one that has defeated many great cartoonists. The musical performances here work because they break up the rest of the issue's button-down aesthetic with brief riots of color and paneling.